Hi, today I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to do the knotting part of one of your jewelry assignments. If you look on the rubric, the knotting assignment is right here, Hemp and Bead. It says I'm looking for the difficulty of your design, uniform knots, the color of hemp that you've picked, the texture of the hemp that you picked, what bead choices you've selected, where you place the beads on the jewelry, on the knotting, and also the design elements. I'm also hoping that you can limit your waste a little bit so that we don't go through lots and lots of hemp. You'll be great on your craftsmanship as well as the aesthetic of the piece. So when we're talking about hemp and knotting, we're talking about mostly a very basic knot, which I'm going to teach you today. That would be this bracelet right here. If you make something like this, you're probably looking at about a 90 on the rubric because it's not a very difficult design, and all you've done is repeated the standard knot over and over. Even if you add a few beads, you're probably looking at a 90. Okay, a very simple structure like this. But if you try to do something a little more fancy, which is a variation of the knots like this, where you've added on strings, decided on some different knot patterns, and did something creative, or even something like this gorgeous piece, where it has several strands, very creative bead use. It incorporates some copper jump rings and your very own copper clasp. This was an A. Okay, this was probably a 97, 98. This is very well done. So let me orient you to where all the supplies are. Over here in the cupboard, there's some little blue tape on there that says Hemp and Beads down here. Okay, open that up. And this cupboard has all things for hemp and beads. There's beads, different colors of hemp. These beads are specifically larger holds, so they'll work for your hemp pieces. This is for my demo later, so ignore that. But here's your hemp and beads, okay? Over here on the far door are your guides to how much yarn you're going to use. If you're making a necklace, it's 1 to 2 yards, and you'll need another string that's about 5 yards long. If you're making a bracelet, you'll need one string that's 1 yard, and the other string is 3 yards. Now, when you're doing it this way, the shorter string will never be seen. So you can pick any color you want. All that you will see is the long string that you pick. On the other hand, if you would like both strings to show, you're going to use this method. You make sure that this section is as long as you want the piece to be, around your wrist or around your ankle or whatever. And then the outside piece is at least 3.5 times as long as that. And that's the way that we're going to operate today, even though our yarn will be the same color. But that's the method. Okay, let me bring you back over here. So I'm going to be giving each of you a piece of hemp to work with, to start with. And I'm going to be showing you how to knot it. Okay, so the first thing that you would do is take your 2 strands of string or hemp, and again, measure the distance around your wrist. Okay, so here's my string. I'm going to measure like this distance around my wrist. It's about what I want. I'm going to leave a little bit extra for a knot and some other stuff. So let's say I'm going to go to right here. Okay, here's the tricky part. Make a loop, right? Now, hold it around and bring it around just like you do the breast cancer symbol, okay, like this. Then bring it behind and bring it through so that you have a single knot, okay, like that, okay. Now, the long strings are going to get eaten up by the knots, and the short strings are going to be the distance around your wrist. Take this and tape it to your desk. Just like that. And I'm going to show you for your demonstration using this up here. Okay. So these yellow strings are your long strings on the outside. Again, I'm just going to show you the very, very basic knot. In that cupboard where I showed you, there's all kinds of books that will show you a beautiful Josephine knot like this, plus some other variations on knots, and they also tell you exactly how many yards you need of everything, so that can be really nice. The first thing I want you to do is take the outside strand and make an L shape. A backwards L, so it comes down here and goes across, okay? Then take the next side, bring it straight down over your L, which makes a backwards 4, right? Now you're going to go underneath the 2 middle strands. I also have them taped down to the table. You may want to add that too. I'm going to bring it up through the edge of the L that you made. And then I'm going to gradually pull my knot up all the way to the top. Okay. Yeah, I suggest taping down your bottom strands too, so you tape down your short strands down there. Now take the other side. You're going to switch. Now this side makes an L, going the right direction. This side goes down, making the number 4. Then it goes underneath the 2 bottom layers, up from the back through this hole, and gradually bring it up. Okay. Same thing again, a reverse L. Bring this one down over top like a backwards number 4. Bring it underneath your 2 short ones, and then up through from behind over there. Same thing on the other side. An L going the right direction. Bring this down like the number 4. Bring it behind your 2 railroad tracks and up from behind on this side and gradually bring it up. Now if you can't remember which side made the L last, the knot that you just made will tell you. The one that's sticking out, can you see how this is kind of sticking out up here and this one's tucked under a little guy right here? I wish you could get closer. See how this one's sticking up and this one's tucked under? The one that's sticking out is always your next L, and this one will always be not, okay? Now, once you practice that for a little bit, if you stop switching sides back and forth, it'll begin to twist. I'm going to show you how to add a bead, just to give you a little chance to see it. So take off your tape on the bottom, slide the middle strings into your bead, and that's why you have to have beads with big enough holes on them. Put your tape back on. And now same thing you did before. This one's going to be my new L because it's sticking out. Comes down across like the number 4, back behind the railroad tracks, sneaking up through the back of here, and pulling it on. And there's your bead, tight in there. There's lots of other ways to configure beads. You can even leave some of these like loose and out like loops if you want to make designs. As long as you keep it even and nice, then I would keep on going with my knots underneath this bead. Okay? Give it a try. See how it goes.